The sky is falling. The sky is falling. No, the sky really is falling because it's raining and there's lightning bolts and thunder pushing up over the mountain. Welcome to another episode of Life and Whiskey. As always, I'm Jordan, and today we are going to talk about budget whiskey, everybody's favorite. So, in these apocalyptic times that we are currently experiencing, many people might be running a little low on the whiskey supply. And if you're like me, jobs are in short supply, and so is the piggy bank and all the money that should be in it. So we're looking at the bottom shelf today. Now, if you're a college kid, you might want to perk your ears up here, as um, what I'm defining as budget is truly budget. The top of our list is going to run $10.79, and that's going to be one that we review today. This is going to be a mini series. This budget whiskey. It's going to be a mini series that I do. I'm going to do 3 bottles at a time. I got Scotches, I got Canadians, and I got bourbons. I could not find a rye under $10 to my frustrations because I like rye. And I could not find an Irish under $10. Now, I did find a boatload of Canadian whiskeys that fit the gamut under $10. And I'm not a big Canadian whiskey fan. There is one variety that I buy. I have used it as my daily drinker, and I've also used it for mixers and all sorts of good things. And I actually do prefer it, and that is Rich and Rare Reserve. So R&R Reserve. I can pick it up for about, let me see here. I gotta find it in my notes. $9.29 here where I currently live. When I used to live in Casper, though, so for all those people that live in Casper, Wyoming, there is a liquor store called Second Street Liquors, and it's down on Second Street, kind of down towards downtown area there. And I could get R&R Reserve for $7.48 when it went on sale. So truly a budget. It was actually a really good one. But with the exception of that, I'm not a huge Canadian whiskey fan. So when I first walked into the liquor store, I was like, all right, I'm going to buy every single bottle I can find under $10. I quickly realized that most of those were in the Canadian category, and I did not care to buy them. I also found that I was not able to buy certain varieties that I really wanted. Our store did not have Seagram 7. It did not have JTS Brown. And it did not have Yellow Corn. So, those varieties I wasn't able to get. And then I chose not to get all of the Canadians. So I was a little bit selective in the ones that I got. I only ended up getting 3. I did not pick up Canadian Mist, Windsor, R&R, or Rich and Rare, just the regular one. I opted for R&R Reserve. Black Velvet, Canadian Hunter, Lord Calvert, the regular one. I got Lord Calvert Black. Canadian Club 1858, and Potter's Special Blend, which is a blended whiskey. I don't think it's actually a Canadian whiskey, but I chose not to get that. I did pick up Kessler's, which is also a blended whiskey. So we'll review that one in another episode. So what I'm going to do is a mini series here. I'm going to do just whiskey reviews, no talking about life really, or maybe just a little bit of fodder along the way. But I'm going to do the whiskeys in groups of 3. And today we're going to start with Scotch. Now, as I've said in previous videos, I am not a huge Scotch fan, but I'm starting to come around. I've had, I had the Monkey Shoulder. I liked that. I had the Dalwhinnie. I liked that. And now that I've tried these 3 that I'm going to review today, I have to say they're not bad. So when you think budget whiskey or bottom shelf, most people think rot gut. And hopefully I can change your mind about this, because when I went through all of the varieties that I picked up, I found some that I will now rotate in as my daily drinker when I want something just cheap and above acceptable, we'll say. I was gonna say good, but it's good. It is good. I don't even know why I'm hesitant to say that. There are some good whiskeys in there. None of them gave me gut rot. None of them turned me off from whiskey in general. None of them had a nasty bite to them. None of them. There was nothing wrong with any of the whiskeys that I picked up, to my surprise, and hopefully to your surprise as well. So as we review these, we'll talk about that a little bit more. One thing you will find is almost all of them are 80 proof. There is one exception. I did find a bourbon that I picked up for $9.79, and that was a 90 proof whiskey. And that was Ezra Brooks. So, Ezra Brooks 90. So we'll talk about that one a little bit later in another episode. Today we're going to talk about Scotch. And the three Scotches that I picked up is LAUDER'S Scotch. Yellow label. I picked it up for $6.89. Number 2, we got Clan MacGregor. Okay. Picked that up for $8.89. The final one is Scoresby. Now, Scoresby is one of the 2 bottles that I picked up that were actually more than $10. Scoresby was $10.79. The other bottle I got was Evan Williams Black Label, which I picked up for $10. Oh, where the heck is it? I don't know. I can't find it in my notes, but it was $10 and change anyways. And that one will also be reviewed at a later point in time in one of the following videos. So today we're going to stick with these. To my surprise, they were all pretty darn good as far as scotches go. They're all easy drinking scotches. Now, normally when I do these, I said with these reviews, I'm going to talk about the different distilleries and all that stuff. Well, because of the number of varieties here, I'm not really going to talk about that much. I'm strictly going to try and keep these videos fairly short, and we're going to do just nose, taste, and finish. And we'll go through those and any other things that pop into my head along the way, talk about that. On the plus side, the audio should be improving in the next week or two if Amazon delivers. I did buy a lavalier mic, so hopefully that will help out with the audio. I also am trying a couple different programs and a couple of different editing softwares, so hopefully video quality will improve somewhat, but at the end of the day, it's still just me talking, so it will be what it'll be. But first up, LAUDER'S Scotch. So, get a little pour going. Now, I don't know if you remember back or if you saw, but I originally said one of the things about Scotch is I can always pick out Scotch. It always has that Scotch smell to it. And I have to say, with these ones being at 80 proof, that smell is toned down a fair bit. It's still in there, but it's at the back end of the nose profile. So this one coming off, it's just kind of light and sweet. There you go, flashing that bald head for you guys up on the camera there. I get a lot of vanilla in there, a little butterscotch kind of. I get that scotchy smell on the back end, but it's not as flagrant as it normally is. And just a hint of light oak. Very, very light. It's a pretty light colored whiskey. If you can see that there. It's fairly light. It's only 80 proof, but It smells really good. So that scotchiness that I smell kind of adds to it more than takes away from it for me. So this is a pretty sweet whiskey. It's sweet up front, sweet vanilla, then kind of goes into this. I don't really know what to call that. I would say it goes, it's this sweet vanilla that moves into this light alcohol kind of a flavor, and then ends with that Scotch wood flavor, that Scotch oak flavor in there. Um, but the profile is actually pretty smooth all the way through. That alcohol burn is fairly light. Um, it's a pretty easy drinking Scotch. Not too disappointed with it. I'd say, you know, on that finish, then it moves more into that oak and then the alcohol burn in there. The alcohol kind of finishes through. Now, I will say, out of all the scotches we're going to do today, that's probably my least favorite. This Lauder's, and it's also the cheapest one, right? So $6.89. Um, what are you gonna expect? I have to say it's that one's not my favorite. But there is a sweet note. It's kind of a two note, maybe three notes sweet with alcohol burn, um, a little bit of oak in there. Um, not, eh, we can do better. Anyways, moving on. Next one, Clan MacGregor. All right. Now, I was quite surprised by Clan MacGregor. I like it quite a bit. It might be my favorite out of the three. Although the Scoresby, nah, I'm gonna take that back. I think the Scoresby's gonna win. But Clan MacGregor here has that musty Scotch smell, a little bit of dust, corn dust in there. Has that Scotch funk in it. That's I'll say that Scotch funk takes up a third of the nose profile. A little bit of green in there. Just smells green. Now, okay, so the reason why I like this is it goes sweet and then runs in, but it's sweet and kind of watery, but it's a little bit more rounded. It doesn't have that sharpness, that little bite that the Louders had. Um, so it's actually a fair bit better. Now, all of these scotches today are 3 years old. Okay, that's the age statement on them. And yeah, get back into this profile. There's just a smidge of smoke in there. And so it's like this smooth moving to oak, and then it has this slight smoke in there. I mean, you can just barely pick it up. And then on the finish, the finish is not so impressive. So the finish is kind of a watery, thin finish with a little bit of oak in there. Not the greatest. But as far as scotches go, this one, Clan MacGregor, I could sit and sip on that. It leaves a little bit to be desired, but it's definitely not the worst. Um, I yeah, I was gonna say it was my favorite. Maybe I did say it was my favorite. Let's see if this go around the Scoresby wins out again. So here we go. Here's what the Scoresby. Pour it so that you can see the label. The Scoresby. Put that in there. All right. So here we go. We got Scotch. Sorry if I keep looking down. My notes are kind of down here, and I'm reading certain things, but try and look at the camera a little bit more. Now that's okay. So Scoresby is definitely the winner, just on nose alone. It's bright, has a little bit of an apple smell to it. You can get some like a milk caramel out of it, a little bit of sweet, and then finishes with some oak. Yeah, Scoresby takes it hands down. MacGregor's good if you want a little bit of a rougher flavor to it, but still good. I'm gonna give it to the Scoresby here. Okay, so it's this sweet, light roundness, a little bit oily. Going into the finish, you kind of get this oily clinginess that has a very dry oak flavor to it. So that Scotch smell that I always pick out, that's that light oak flavor that I get. Those tannins, I tend to pull that out when I smell Scotch, and that's what I get on this one. So it's a very nice mix of light oil, um, that brings the sweetness through, that rounds it out, has a nice velvety mouth feel to it, into this light oak finish with a little bit of pepper to it. Not bad at all. So there you go. As far as Scotch goes, there are a couple of decent Scotches to be had for under $10. Although the Scoresby kind of cheated, it's above $10 at $10.79. The Clan MacGregor, $8.89, and then the Lauder's Scotch we got for $6.89, which is the second cheapest whiskey that I was able to find. So if you're a Scotch person, if you like the fancier Scotches, you might want to avoid all this. If you're looking for a cheap bottle to pick up to maybe experience something, give it a try, uh, go with the Scoresby. If you can shell out the $10 for a bottle that you may not like. Um, Now I'm gonna do, like I said, I'm gonna do some mixed drinks in this video series. I'm gonna do some other things. I might try mixing some of these different whiskeys together. Like I might take a bourbon and a Scotch and who knows what and mix stuff together. I'm not just gonna take the nastiest of the nasty that I got and just mix them together to make a whole lot of nasty. But yeah, as far as scotches go, that's what I was able to come up with at our local liquor stores. As always, please put in the comments below what you were able to find these different liquors for in your area. And if you have any other suggestions for bottom shelf whiskeys that we should be taking a look at on this channel, by all means, leave that in the comments below, and I'll be sure to try and get my hands on them. Like I said, I wasn't able to get JTS Brown, which is a huge bummer to me. I actually cannot find it in my state, which sucks. But my hunting partner, when he comes out for a visit, that's kind of his penance or his fee. Is he normally brings me a couple of bottles of JTS Brown. Now he says he can pick it up in his area for $9.99, and nah, it's one of my favorite whiskeys. Doesn't matter what the price is on it, but it's a very corn dust heavy, corn silage heavy smell and taste. Heavy corn in there. I really, really like it. It's great for mixed drinks, and it's unfortunate that that wasn't able to be part of this collection of videos here. But if you got any questions, feel free, drop them in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed this video and the reviews. Like I said, this is just going to be quick, and hopefully you can get some entertainment out of it. Thanks very much. Hope you guys are all staying safe out there. And neither the weather nor the COVID is taking you guys down. And hopefully we can find you something in this video series that will help you replace your stockpiles as they get depleted. As always, have yourselves a great day, and thanks for watching.